How to make apple pie. Using a recipe from my grand's old school cookbook, I have doubled the recipe and this is what you need. Start by sieving your flour and baking powder, add a bit of salt and diced cold butter into cubes before tossing that into the flour. Rub the butter pieces between your finger until the mixture resembles breadcrumbs. Once the mixture looks like breadcrumbs, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of cold water. The cold water stops the butter from melting when you knead the mixture together to form a dough. Keep adding water 1 tablespoon at a time until the mixture comes together. If it's too sticky, add flour. Too dry, add water. Once you have your dough ball, cut it in half and wrap one half in plastic wrap and store this in the fridge until later. Take your other half of the dough and roll it out flat onto a floured surface. You want this to be half a centimeter thick, but also wider than your pie dish so you can place it carefully inside like so. Trim off any excess edges with a knife. Then mold the edges to look pretty. Take a knife or a fork and pierce the bottom of the pastry with little holes. Add parchment paper and baking beans or rice if you have no baking beans. This will help weigh the pastry down as you par bake it. Bake this at 350F or 185C for about 10 minutes. Take the beans and parchment out and bake for a further 5 to 10 minutes until the edges start to brown. Don't overbake it. This is to stop the filling from giving you a soggy bottom, but baking it too much will cause it to be dry instead. Take your apple pie filling and put enough inside to fill the pie dish. For the recipe, please search for my recipe in a separate video. Now take the pastry you placed in the fridge and roll this out flat. Gently lift the pastry with your rolling pin and unfurl it on top of your pie. Organize the edges by pinching or whatever you prefer. Pierce a hole on top of the pie and then embellish however you want from there. I went with the classic pressing of the fork. Bake for 15 to 20 minutes in the oven until the top of the pastry has begun to brown. At this point, you can add an egg wash or sprinkle of sugar on top of the pie before baking it till slightly browned on top. Take out, leave to cool for 5 minutes, and then it's time to slice and serve. Let me know if you want to see any more videos from my granny's school cookbook. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm off to eat some pie.